Yesterday I seemed to get myself into a little pickle. Check this out. Yep, another great start to the morning. She's a little bit cold this morning. The car is absolutely covered in ice. Oh well, better than 45 degrees I reckon. Let's get into it. That was one hectic day. It's now about 3 p.m. Contractors have gone home and we've made a fair bit of progress, a lot more than what we all expected. We all got in, worked hard. I'll give you a bit of a look. As you can see, the old tank's gone, new tank's in. I've got water running into it. I'm just waiting for this to fill, then I can knock off, which it's almost there. It's only got another couple of inches to go, so I'll have to keep an eye on it. We've got our trench dug for the power. We've got to run power out. There is a pump in that tank. And we've made a fair mess. I'm not too sure whether you can remember, but there was a big oleander tree here that I spent about a day and a half cutting back, and the excavator driver ended up pulling it out for me. Because they're an absolute bloody terrible plant. They're just messy, they're actually poisonous, and the roots just get into everything. There it is there. I've got a mate with the crane truck. I'm gonna have to get him out, lift that up and take it to the tip. We've got a little bit of a mess going down here because it's so wet. It's literally boggy as. A little bit of gravel left over. I'm gonna put that in the carport and in the driveway. Be just enough there to do that, which is a bonus. A little bit of topsoil left over so I can fix all the wheel tracks in the yard. Again, when it dries out a little bit, it's boggy as through here, but the excavator operator has done an absolute exceptional job here. New trenches in. There's a lot of work went into that. I probably should have filmed it, but we were all just go today. Originally, we thought we had the excavator fella in the Bobcat for 2 days, but we only had him for 1. So we had to sort of get in and get it done. I was doing the trench while the plumber was doing the tank, and we got it smashed out. Another bonus is, while the excavator operator was here, I got him to pull out all these stumps. Another one there, another one there. I didn't even get him to attempt this big sugar gum. It would have taken longer than what it was worth with the little excavator, so I might even chop that down, make a seat out of it, make a bit of a something decorative or whatever. But all in all, productive day, that's for sure. We'll see you tomorrow. Another absolutely beautiful morning out here this morning. It's absolutely freezing. I don't know how well that's going to show up on camera, but I'm blowing a fair bit of fog, and we do have a fair bit of ice sitting about. Just goes to show how cold it is. This morning, all I'm going to be doing is getting this trench prepared here. I'm going to have to dig by hand back up under the house, tidy this up all the way through, clean that out. It's got to be a minimum of 500 deep for the power to run through over to the pump. So I'm going to warm up a little bit and get on the shovel and clean this bloody trench out. So I've had a busy couple of hours. The contractor's been back. We've finished off all the work. We've had our little visit from the authorities to make sure everything's up to spec, and the contractor I use is very particular, so everything was spot on to plan. Got everything finalised. All I've got to do now is clean up, backfill we've got our certificate of compliance or whatever it is. We can backfill our tank before it rains and it pops out. I've got this little machine here. It's a lot easier than a shovel. The little dinky hog, and I guess we'll get in, backfill our tank. As you can see, the struggle is real. It's incredibly wet. We couldn't put the job off because just in the 10-day forecast, there's another 2 lots of rain. And how cool it's been. It's not going to dry out anymore. Check this out. She's definitely just a little bit wet. The poor old machine's earning its money. I'm going to be trying to pick different tracks because pick the same tracks and you just go down to the belly, which I discovered here. I laid some gravel down to get in this way. I'm gonna have to lay a bit more. I wanted to use that gravel for the garage, but I'm gonna have to get more of that gravel, bring over and build another road in here. It is starting to harden up with that gravel in here. That big oleander tree was here, so there's a great big hole. It's almost bottomless, which I found out. Come in here, went down the belly plate, had to snig myself out with the 4-wheel drive. Oh dearie dear. But we are getting there, slowly. Another beautiful morning. It's about 8 AM. The next day, obviously. Yesterday I seemed to get myself into a little pickle. Check this out. So yesterday was going well until it wasn't. I end up coming up with the bright idea. I've got a heap of bark chips over there. Make myself a little road in here, which was working well until I broke through it and sunk down to the belly, popped the tyre off the rim, basically busted the bead on the tyre and became a real bloody nightmare. I ended up getting myself well and truly bogged here as well. I dug myself out and put a bit of bark chips under myself and got back and got out, and that's when I come up with the great idea of putting the bark chips down. So I've come up with a new plan. I end up just hiring the little digger, which is a little bit extra cost, but it'll get the job done. I'll get the tyre back on the little husky, get her out, and then we'll keep going, will we? We'll get it knocked over today easily, I'm hoping, because have a look at the sky. It's gonna bloody rain. Anyway, we'll get into it before this rain gets here. Definitely getting ahead today, been a little bit more productive. It's about smoko time and I've got a fair bit done. I'll give you a bit of a look what I'm up to. got all the septic backfilled, all this backfilled. It's all mounded up. I have stuck the hose in there, knock a bit of air out of it, but that's about how I want it for now. There was some oleanders here. I've pulled them out and stuck them over there with the others, just because they're a pain to mow around, and they were absolutely no benefit there at all. They were just a pain. I've got all our dirt piled back up. I did make a bit of a mess dragging it over there. I actually dragged it over near the pile, near the septic, done what I had to do and dragged it back. It was a bit of a time waster, but I couldn't go walking backwards and forwards on there. I was sinking. I found all this was just covered in vine, and what I found in here is a whole heap of bloody concrete footings, so they're going to be fun to get rid of. So I'm going to segregate, make a pile of concrete here, because I've got a feeling there's going to be more. A nice little bit of topsoil there for later to fix up all our tracks. Little pile of gravel left. I run it around, I put it in the carport, and this was all vine all the way up to here, and there was no fence through here, so I've pulled it out, so it's going to be nice and easy to mow. A little concrete slab there, I don't know what it is. I think I might even try and pick that up, put it over with our other concrete, just so it's out of the way. I don't know why it would be there. There's a couple of our posts. They were in here. A bit of wire and stuff on them. I reckon there's probably going to be enough straight post in that to cut that off and still have a good post out of. They must be 10-foot posts. Anyway, what I'm going to carry on with now is I'll go and get a chain. A couple of these stumps I'll just get in the bucket, but this one here I'm just going to try and chain it up and see whether it will carry it whole over there for now. I do have the chainsaw on the back of the ute, but I'm not going to break that out today unless I really have to. That was a close call. I think I'm just gonna give up while I'm ahead with the machines in the yard just at the moment, because once you go through this top layer it just turns into soup, and I almost just got that machine stuck as well. Check this out. I come in, I was gonna just backblade that bit of a hole where that stump was. I broke through the crust, and that is just pure soup. Went down, I dug myself out, but I've made a bigger mess than what it's worth. And I think the more I keep mucking around, the softer it's going to get. I really thought I was going to be stuck there then. I thought I was up bloody shit creek without a paddle. I might go and give this thing a clean off while it's all nice and sloppy. I may put the digging bucket, it is fairly hard out on this block out here, and there's some briar bushes I want to get out, so I may push me luck out here and try and get rid of these briar bushes while I've got the machine. But I basically got everything I wanted to do in this yard, apart from making it look nice, leveling it all off and giving it a blade, making it nice and flat, which is just not going to happen. And the excavator driver that was here the other day, he had a bobcat with him and he told me the same thing. He said, you're just going to make a mess if you try. because I didn't listen and made a mess. Had a pretty good run over here. I ended up getting rid of all these briar bushes. I'll give you a look. Just to give you a bit of an idea, they were growing out to the edge of this pile here. And that's the pile of them that I've got to get rid of now. It's just way too boggy to be trying to get in here to do anything else with that little skid steer, because I'm not going to pick it all up by hand. But it's cleared that big area out beautifully. It's actually quite dry under this tree. Sun's just popping up over the hills. It's actually quite warm this morning. It's Friday morning, and I think for today what we're going to do is try and clean this area here up. It's about the only part of the house that I haven't attacked yet, apart from this side, which isn't too bad. It really just needs a bit of rubbish picked up. Going to get rid of that old aircon and a bit of mesh they got around it. Probably get rid of this lattice, and just like I wish it was that easy. I'm not quite done. I've still got these posts to do. Gonna remove that gauze. I've run out of time. It's actually cleaned up pretty well under here. It won't need repainting. There'll only be a couple of little patch jobs to do. I'm not gonna go too hard on that window because I'll put an aluminium one in here, just because they've got no gauze on them and you can't open and close it. And that's the only window in that room. And if you're wondering what I use to clean, just a bit of sugar soap and a lot of elbow grease. Those two scourers were new when I started. There you go. All in all, pretty good week. Catch you next time.